Hey folks, so, I haven't been giving my Ram truck the love it deserves here on YouTube, and I haven't done a YouTube review of this truck in quite a long time, and I feel that it is overdue. And I just want to go over why I bought the truck, what I like about it. I don't drive this truck very much just because of my business, and because I just don't need to drive it that much in the summertime. But anyway, moving on here. So I have and you'll see with the exterior review and interior review, but I have a 2019 Ram 1500 Laramie edition optioned out with the lane sense, the active parking assist, and the 360 surround view camera. So with the off-road package as well, optioned out, this truck was about $70,000, $70,000 to $75,000. So I bought it used. Why did I buy this truck? I needed a newer truck for my business. I had a 17 night edition before I bought this. I really tossed back and forth, spending a little bit more money and buying a limited, but I wanted to keep my payments down. I was looking at kind of the future here, and I only put maybe 6,000 miles a year on this truck. So this was a truck that I wanted to keep a while, but I didn't want to spend a ton of money on this vehicle because of the fact that I, have the Genesis, or had. I am looking for another sports car now, and ultimately I want to end up getting another sports car here in a few years that is really nice. Not sure what I'm going to get yet, but that's a ways away. So anyway, I own the golf course, so I have to do a lot of towing, and I need something in the wintertime that is dependable and can get me to places where it needs to be, and also looks really good. So I had been looking for a truck used for about 3 months, and I found it. I bought this truck in Green Bay from a dealer, a Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer over there. And the dealer experience was very lacking, as most dealer experiences are nowadays, and bought it. It was $47,000. I can't quite remember. Right around 50. So anyway, it had 45,000 miles on it when I got it. So a year and a half, I put 15,000 miles on. Not a ton of miles. I don't perceive putting on too many, miles on this vehicle, except in the wintertime, as I do a little bit of snowmobiling. But starting with the driving purposes of this truck, it's great to tow with, although it is a truck. I mean, the gas mileage isn't good. You can see what I've been averaging. It is cold. This is a naturally aspirated V8. It does have the e-torque, which is supposed to add 110 foot-pound torque on top of the, I believe, 420 foot-pound torque that this truck has, and you can definitely feel it. I installed a cold air intake and an exhaust system on it as well, so that definitely helps with the torque. This is still a massive vehicle, so I'm not looking for any speed gains or any records with it at all. But equipped with the air suspension, this rides okay. And before I put the leveling kit on that I purchased, I mean, it was only $50 to level it. So before I put the leveling kit on, it did ride better than right now. But I don't think, towing a lot of stuff, I've towed skid steers with this, I don't think I would get the auto load leveling again, because most of the towing I do is in the winter time. So I just am not sold on that auto leveling yet. I don't think it's completely necessary. I wouldn't mind having coils because when the airbags break, it's going to cost a lot of money to get it fixed. So that's where I'm at with that. That option I wasn't necessarily looking for. It is a nice option to have to go into off-road mode or into entry-exit mode. So I didn't have to get the auto-deployable steps on the truck. But the driving characteristics of it, if any of you have owned a 4th gen Ram, I've owned 2 4th gen Rams, a Bighorn quad cab, and then my 17 Night Edition. I have to say that those drove and rode better than this truck. But this truck is quieter than those other ones. The Laramies and Limiteds come with an auto dampening, like a noise dampening system. And that definitely helps with the vibrations of the noise. I mean, the only noise I get right now is the tire noise because I have BF Goodrich TA KO2s on. So those, of course, are going to be louder. But with a stock tire, you're really not even going to notice the tire noise or the road noise of the truck. So, the driving characteristics are that of a truck. I mean, it's a decent ride. It is the best riding truck out of all the major truck brands out there because it is A, air suspension, B, it is 4-corner suspension instead of leaf springs. So that helps out a ton with ride quality. But overall, for the driving that I do with it, I'm more worried about safety and looks than the actual drivability, as this is a truck. And you're not, unless you buy a TRX or a Raptor R, you're not really looking to set any land speed records with a basic truck. But with the off-road group, this already comes from the factory 1 inch higher than standard trucks do, and with the level, that levels it out as well. So this truck level, this sits about 2 inches higher than your standard truck. So I do like it. I like the way it drives. It's great for road trips. It's great on roads like this, where you could just throw it in 4-wheel drive auto and get to where you need to go safely. One thing I do like is the rear axle lock on there. You can lock the rear axle, and you can basically, if you're stuck, get yourself out because that rear axle is locked. So that was a feature I was actually looking for, and not a lot of Ram trucks come with that feature. So I was pretty happy that I was able to find one with that feature, and it quite honestly has helped me out quite a few times. So yeah, other than that, driving characteristics of the truck are pretty nice. As we move on to the exterior here, I'm just going to point out a few things of this 5th gen Ram that I like and I don't like. So as you can see, this is in normal mode with the leveler on. You can see that for the air suspension. And it does sit a 1 inch higher than factory, thanks to the off-road group, which is about $1,000 package, I believe, and adds some skid plates underneath, that extra height on there, and that axle lock and hill descent control. So this is in normal mode. As you can see, it is a pretty tall truck with that 1 inch increase and the leveling on the front. And that ultimately makes this truck look really good. So I want to start with the pros of this 5th gen first. First being the rims that are on here. They're 20-inch fuel rims with BF Goodrich all-terrain TAKO2s, 275/55 R20s. I personally would like to get a 22-inch rim on this truck someday, but it looks really good as is. So add that to the base price of the truck as well. Next, I want to point out what I really like is this hood. So you have the 2 air scoops here and that big front air intake, air dam. I mean, it's all just plastic. It serves no purpose, although those 2 do there. But it looks pretty good. This is nice too with the front camera, with the Ram there. Kind of a different front on the truck. It took me a little while to get used to the front of the truck. I like the limited design with the headlights instead of these LEDs on the Laramie and on a nicer Bighorn trim. Although those are nice with the daytime running lights on there as well. You know, overall, if you look at the truck, it is bigger than the 4th gen. I also like that. It isn't as traditional truck. It isn't as a traditional truck as the 4th gen Ram. And that may be why I don't like it as much. Overall, though, it is a good-looking truck. I did add some Gibson exhaust tips and the whole actual exhaust system on this truck when I bought it. The tailgate looks nice. Sometimes this tailgate, it's supposed to be auto-open. Doesn't work all the time. Sometimes it does. There, it's soft close. It's mainly because of this Mopar protector there, I guess, from salt and wind and snow and dirt and whatnot. But tailgate's easy. I do feel like this truck is not as on the exterior, it's just not built as well as the 4th gen trucks. I don't feel like the materials are as nice. Although I do like the look of it. I like the look of the 4th gen Night Edition a little bit more just because of the traditional style of the truck. But this is, in my opinion, one of the better looking trucks on the road in my area. It is a sweet looking truck with the redesign. The mirrors are nice. This red color really does it for me. The Ram made a few colors that look really good with some blacked out accents. The red is nice, the silver and the gray look really good. Some other colors just don't look quite as good. Overall, I like the exterior. In a perfect world, they would have designed the 4th gen exterior with all the options of the 5th gen and the 5th gen interior. So moving on to the interior here, I want to take you to the back seat first because you can see with the seat all the way back as that mode is in now for the easy access entry where the seat moves you forward once you get in, you still have a ton of room. You're looking at leg space of, you can't even see it on the screen, at least 18 to 22 inches right there, maybe even closer to 2 feet. So you have a ton of room, not here even, well, you have a ton of room there, but not only here, but you also have a ton of room for your feet back there, and you can fit 5 people comfortably in here. This Laramie came with heated rear seats, not heated cool seats. It would have been nice if it would have came with cooled seats, but I have no people I put in the back seat. So this truck works perfect. You do get and I used to have it down, but I didn't like the indent it was leaving on the seat. You do have a little console back here for storage and anything like that if somebody does decide to sit back here. This did come with the, I believe, 19-piece Harman Kardon sound system, so you have speakers literally everywhere. You have a nice panel moonroof, which is a must-have option on this truck. Really livens up the black interior. You can see this was the Laramie Sport, so everything is blacked out in it. I am a little torn on this. It's supposed to be like an Alcantara suede, but I'm a little torn on this material here. I would have liked to see more suede in the seats or all leather. This just doesn't do it for me. I would either like to have, like I said, more suede because the suede material is really nice, or just make this all leather. Make it a richer, better look for your, almost top of the line trim here. So I'm a little disappointed with that. Materials for being a $70,000 truck. You have your typical soft touch with the Alcantara insert there and some of your softer touches around the top of the door. But I would expect to see more soft touch areas, around the speaker and around the door there. But a lot of room in the back seat. I like that. That wasn't necessarily the selling factor for me. I didn't buy a quad cab because I wanted the panel roof, and quad cab trucks just don't look great. I had one. I didn't like the look. It looked very strange. So moving into the driver's seat, very comfortable. One thing I do have to say, though, between the 4th gen and the 5th gen, these seats aren't as bolstered. These are made for a larger person. I'm not very large. I know friends who have sat in this truck would appreciate more bolstering like in the 4th gen seats. Those 4th gen seats were almost more like SRT seats, at least with the backrest, and not necessarily the seat. The seat itself is very comfortable. Again, though, I'd like to see more either suede here or make this all leather. I don't see the point in that. Materials are nice here. This is a Laramie, so you get the Laramie inscription right there. Your headrests go forward and back. I like mine all the way back. It is a very nice place to spend time, very comfortable. Again, moving toward the materials here, I want to gripe on that a little bit. I didn't buy the limited, so it is my fault. But I want to gripe on these hard plastic materials. You know, you get your nice materials where you need them on the Laramie, better than the Bighorn, but it's still hard plastic kind of everywhere else. You guys have seen me inside the cabin here before. I've done reviews of this U-Connect. You do sit really nicely in here. Being a sport, I would have liked to see a flat bottom steering wheel. This is not a flat bottom steering wheel. That's okay. Some of this material is just really hard plastic. You know, your dash is nice, faux leather wrapped. And of course you have your leather steering wheel, but I do think some of these materials could be better. And I know Ram needed to differentiate itself from, you know, the Laramie and the Limited, or the Limited Longhorn Edition. And so I know it needed to do that. But again, I mean, if you're going to option out your Laramie to basically limited pricing, I wouldn't see why you wouldn't want to, you know, have some of this leather wrapped, or at least fake leather wrapped like that. Looking in the interior here, you have storage for your, like I have touch-up paint and my identification card. And you also have storage down here. I've just got the book and the actual sticker here, $65,000 with all the other added factory or other options here. You're looking at about $70,000 plus with the tires and the rims, etc. But you know, you look at the base price of the Laramie, and it is only $45,695. So you're adding basically $25,000 worth of options to this truck. So realistically, you're buying a $45,000 truck and you're optioning it out. So if you say that, that justifies some of this hard plastic. But passenger seat here, I have some stuff in the seat, very similar to driver's seat. I would like to see more bolstering here. It is very comfortable though. I mean, this cabin, and I do have to say this interior is much nicer than, I shouldn't say nicer. I liked my 4th Gen Night Edition. It was high quality. It was a top trim. You got all of the nice stuff that you would expect in a Limited. There wasn't any difference there. The material was nicer. Everything seemed a little bit nicer in that than this. But this interior is better laid out. You have way more storage, and everything just seems open about this interior. It is a bigger truck than the 4th Gen, but everything about this interior just seems bigger. It's more comfortable. It's wide open. You feel safer in this truck because it is such a large truck. So if you are still looking at a 4th Gen, which I know some of you may be, just because the price of these trucks are expensive, and you are comparing it to a 5th Gen, you may want to go with that 4th Gen. You may want to go with a 17 or an 18 just because of you know, the interior layout or the quality of the interior. I've sat in Bighorn trucks of these, and you're not getting much. I mean, you really aren't getting much. Even if you option your Bighorn out to $65,000 or $60,000, you're still not getting much. I am happy with this truck, though. I am glad I didn't buy a limited because my payment would be more. I don't want that big of a payment on a truck. I mean, again, like I said, this is one of the best looking trucks in my area. For a newer truck, I should say. Not a lot of people in my area buy newer trucks, so I bought this. I plan on keeping this a while till, you know, the next generation comes out, and then I plan to upgrade there because I do want to replace this car or the next sports car I get with a very nice, you know, sports car. So ultimately, I'm very happy with this truck so far. The longevity is really nice. It drives great for a truck. I have to say it's not like driving the Durango, but it is like driving a truck, and it is the best driving truck I have been in. Ford, GMC, Chevy, any of those trucks. So it looks great. If you guys are interested in a truck like this, feel free to reach out. I'll tell you some pros, I'll tell you some cons, I will tell you some of the options I like and don't like on the truck. But overall, I am glad I bought it. I am glad it is working out for me, and it feels like a truck that is going to last, I could say, another 6 to 7 years without me having to buy a different truck. So we'll see if that happens, but I truly believe that is going to happen. And I am glad I got this truck.